Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're going to talk about Sigma 28 to 45 f1.8 DGDN art lens. So let's dive deep into it. So basically this is a big deal given the fact that it's A, zoom lens, B, f1.8. To give you a context, the best you can get so far is f2. f1.8 is a big jump. It's almost a full stop and third because again it's a logarithmic jump from f2.8. So it's a big jump. And again, it comes into the classification of flagship, meaning it did not have existed before this. Flagship zoom lens, and it's available for two mounts. You have L mount, again Sigma's own mount. Sigma has camera bodies that can accept this and utilize it without any issue. You have Panasonic and you have Leica, where they can just go YOLO on L mount. And then you have E mount, Sony's mount. Now be mindful, Sony mount does work with electrical contacts, almost everything except certain limitation. We'll discuss that further, but you don't have to worry too much about it. And then we have to understand this is a big deal because it's full frame f1.8, because there are f1.8 zoom lens, but most of them are either for APS-C or micro four third. That's why this is such a significant jump up. And this is $1,300, or in India as of now when I'm making this video, it's available for 1,18,890 rupees. Not that bad. Like in contrast, in balance, it's not that bad. It's available at imstudent.com. And in terms of weightage, we are talking about 2.1 pounds, and in terms of grams is 950 g. So it's a heavy puppy, but not bonkersly heavy, but heavy. It's a heavy boy, although it is disappointing in terms of its range, only 1.6x. So basically take the bigger divide by the smaller one, that gives you the x. So it's not that big in terms of range, but it's supposed to replace 3 prime lenses in your bag. That's why that f1.8 matters, because a lot of people buy f1.8 as an actual prime, and again they're still not cheap. So that's why I said the price is not that bad. And you're supposed to replace your wide angle prime, 35mm prime, 50-ish primes. All those three supposed to be poofed, and you're supposed to use this one. Now, this is an art class lens. Sigma has 3 categories: S for sports, then C for contemporary, and then they have art. Art is basically no holes barred, meaning Sigma, when they sit down to design art lens, there is no cost consideration. They're like, just go YOLO on it. So it's specifically focused on a sort of look and feel rather than like technical sharpness and this and all. No, it's like it's supposed to look good. That's the whole point of it. And is there a big enough difference? Because again, the first question you will have is like, why should I go into this rather than f2.8, fixed aperture zoom systems like Holy Trinity? Well, yes, that's the whole point. It has one full stop, a significant jump. Basically, going from f2.8 to f2 is a jump, but not magnificently huge jump. It is a jump, but not like whoa. Here it is whoa. This is literally one full plus 1/3 stop brighter. What does that mean? That simply means your ISO goes down. A complete stop. Basically, if you are a 1600, half of that. So, or like 800, 400. So that's a very, very big jump. That's not like a little bit change. No, that's a huge change. And it's a low light king without a limitation of prime. Prime, while they are really good and awesome, they do come with the fact that surprisingly a lot of them are not that sharp, and those who are sharp, they are far more expensive than this. That's why I said that the price is actually good. And prime, especially if you reach a point where you do not want to like zoom in or zoom out, basically by walking or walking away from people, congested spaces, you will feel that limitation. Like let's say you are dealing with some party, you may want to zoom in to frame something better. You have to walk there. Here you have some flexibility, and again, when you have zero flexibility versus some flexibility is awesome. So it will give you that low light performance of really low ISO, and without the limitation of prime. Size, weight, and price, they are high for a reason. As you can see, it has a lot of glass. It has to have this many glass, and I'm reasonably sure this has more glass than Sony's G Master Mark II lens. Mark II lens has fewer glass elements. The Mark I was 24 to 70 was stupid. It had too many glass elements. This almost looks like that point where it's like too many glass elements, but it does work. All the testing is like, it's good. It's like, it's really, really good. And again, that's why it's so big and bulky. Price wise, again, if I'm comparing it to any other brand, it's reasonable. And E-mount only has certain limitation, like big limit is the burst. For example, let's say you want to use A9 Mark III and you want to be like YOLO with 120 FPS. Yeah, this will not. Now, again, the limitation is not in the lens. The limitation is in the fact that Sony will detect that this is not a Sony lens and lock it to 15 FPS burst. Meaning you can set the setting. It will just not go there. It will go, drrrr, it will stop at 15 fps, it will not go to 120. So that is a limitation, but again, that's not a fault of Sigma, nor it's even a fault of Sony, simply because why, yes, on paper Sony can allow it, they do have to sell their own lens. And compared to what, compared to Nikon, who was like, you can sell whatever lens you want, you just, it cannot be our own lens. Meaning if they have that lens, you have to make some modification to it so it does not conflict. Go to Canon is like, nope, thou shall not allow full frame lenses. That's why this is not available for Canon. And yes, they have allowed it, but it's only for APS-C. That was such a clever trick. I have to respect it. Whoever is their product manager or PR manager, they're good. They're like, trick the whole country, whole planet. It's like, yeah, Canon has allowed third-party lenses. It's like, only for APS-C. You have to fight with people. It's like, dude, it's only for APS-C, not for full frame. So once you have all that data point from Nikon's point of view and Canon's point of view, then you're like, yeah, Sony is not that bad. And yes, Sony will also limit some things, weird things that like focus breathing compensation. So that's the core reason. Now, to accentuate what is the difference between f2.8 and f1.8 is that the background has a noise element to it. Basically, let's say this is a puppy photo and you have a background where you have a building and you have corridors are dark. You can almost find some stuff going on, but same location, you shoot with f1.8, it's gone. Like, you can't make it out, it's gone, done, deleted, shifted, eliminated from photo frame. That's a big jump. Like in many scenarios, especially if you are in a crowded place and you close up, it will make a big difference. And when you can frame your shot, you can just shift delete the background. It's just like, nope, what is background? We have never heard of this background. So that's why it does matter. So like, going from f2.8 to f1.8, it is big. Now, feature-wise, it is an internally zooming system, which again is really good for gimbals, but be very mindful. The whole system combined will be a heavy puppy. You must use a big gimbal. And weather sealing is a very good thing. Now, I do have Sigma lens, but be mindful because mine is old, I think 10 years or maybe 15 years old. No, I don't think it's that old, but you get the point. It's old. So it has like freaking dust inside the lens, and it also has fungus growing in there because the sealing was not that good. And again, it zooms out and all that, and that's a very big issue whenever you have a lens that zooms out or like has breathing where it's like because no matter how good your seal is, it cannot be super good because again you will have very hard time actually extending it, and it wears down over time. You can't do anything about it, it will wear down. Only difference would be if it's implemented very well, it could take few years. If it's not implemented well, bad things will happen. So that's why for many other reasons you may want to just have a lens that does not extend, even though carrying it may become a big hassle. It's better in long run simply because you do not have dust going inside the lens, fungus going inside the lens, and again weather sealing also becomes far more robust. So how much rain it can endure, again rain, it's not meant to endure seawater dunking, just like mild rain and all that. The likelihood of this surviving without any issue compared to a lens that extends, it's much higher. So that's why fundamentally it is a good thing that they have focused on the fact that it's internally zooming. That's a good thing. You may think it's not valuable, but it is shut up take money in many scenarios, especially if you live in a dusty area. And very fast and snappy autofocus. Again, at this point in time, autofocus is sorted. Like, we good. If it's not working, it may require a bit of patch or a bit of software bug, or you may have gotten a defective piece, but other than that, you do not have to worry about autofocus. You're good. And aperture ring is also there, which is ironic. If you look into old Nikon and Canon lenses, they used to have, like during film era, they used to have aperture. Then we removed aperture. Now we are adding back aperture. But again, this is not mechanical aperture. This is not a cinema lens. It's not mechanical. All it is, it's electronically driven. So it's just an encoder that tells, hey, computer, set the aperture to this. Again, it may be desirable for you, may not be desirable, but I rather have it than not have it. So that's a good thing. And it does have two programmable buttons that will, based on your camera, you can set it to whatever the camera allows it to set it to. So those are there. Zoom range is not that flexible. It should at least have 2x of range. having a range of only 1.6x is not that great. You are looking for 3. 3 is really good, but like, that range is a bit limiting. Like you will be irritated. It's like, come on, just a little bit more, a little bit either on the back end or a little bit more on the front, far end. Because again, if it was like actually touching 50 rather than 45, lot more people would be like, shut up, take money. Lot more people. But like, that the little bit, like on the little end is also not that back, and the other end is also, it's a limiting. And filter thread is 82 millimeter, which is big but not stupendous big, whereas like your Sony's one where it's like 90 plus. So it's reasonable. It's a reasonable lens. By all accounts, it's a reasonable lens. Now question becomes the final, for whom this is? Well, it's not super expensive. That's why it's actually worthwhile having a conversation with this. Because again, compare this to any first party offering, be it Sony, be it Canon, be it Nikon. Like you might be like, hey, wouldn't it be better to buy f2 lens, zoom lens, which is 28 to 70? Absolutely. It's just that you will have very hard time carrying it because those are brick, ludicrously heavy, and 3 times the price. It's not 3 times worse. So that's the whole point. It's like that price gap, and the fact that many first party prime lenses are almost 70 or 80% of this price is like, it's actually kind of like, it's reasonable. That's why, because of the price disparity between first party offerings and this offering, it kind of makes it tangible. Like, yeah, I could look into it. You might be like, and again, if the 2 primes that you're gonna buy and you just buy this, it's like, ta-da, done, go home. So for that, it's really good. Now, it's a very good lens for video work, not because of the focus breathing or none of that. It's not that great. But the fact that the low aperture allows you to do natural light shooting, meaning if a candlelight dinner is happening, you can actually shoot in candlelight dinner. You can't be like, oh, we have candlelight, but everybody has backlit and everything is fully lit. I'm like, yeah, you have too much artificial lighting. It's very difficult. Again, you look into cinema, it's very difficult because they cannot push the ISO up too much because it will look very noisy. So they're like, okay, this sort of lens allows like a movie like Contagion to be shot very effectively on a very low budget. So it's a really good thing because, and again, you do not want, oh, it's wide. Cinema generally do not want to use wide. They generally want to use a wide angle only for establishing shot. So if 2 people are having a conversation, they will try to tighten it up as much as possible. Because again, once you tighten it up, it feels like a calendar pic, whereas like it's a photo. That's why you generally do not want to use as wide as possible. Meaning basically, if your person is there, you may not want like camera onto their face. You may like, okay, let's take a step back. So that's there. And it's a low light at close-up events. For example, if you are in a wedding and it's like quite intimate and a lot of people are there in a very small house, at that point in time, this lens will like, shut up, take money. You're not going to swap everything, every lens every 5 seconds. And at that point in time, that even that tiny range, it's like, yeah, shut up, take money. And the fact that it can allow you to go f1.8, meaning an ISO suppression would be really good, you can have a really good thing. So it's a good lens with a reasonable price, but it has limited use. For example, thou shall not buy this for travel. You will hate yourself. Trust me. There is a reason we have Holy Trinity, and there is a reason why nobody even tries to change that Holy Trinity. People did try, like both Sony and Canon. Both of them have 28 to 70 f2. Now you would wonder why the heck they did not manage to put it to f either lower f number, basically instead of f2 f1.8. They could not. It would be this size. And another point was, it would be too expensive and too difficult. So trust me, f1.8 for a zoom, even with this limited range, has use case, but not for every scenario. Not for every scenario. Like for majority of people, f2.8 Holy Trinity would be good. Again, even from Sigma only, it still would be good. But because of the low price, it's actually a good conversation where it's like, what if I look into this rather than looking into 2-3 prime lenses? You could have a good purchasing agreement here. Not for traveling, and don't even talk about large sports. Not only the limitation of the burst rate, but also the fact that it only, not even 50. So unless you are in the pavilion very close to, like, I cannot even imagine taking photos of cricket with this. Football, maybe, but cricket, no, because again, cricket, all the action happens in the center of the map. So it's like, eesh. So sports, don't think about it. Travel, don't think about it. If you are a person who is using prime lenses, especially within that range, you can give it a shot. It's not too stupendously expensive, and everything else is really good. And some scenarios, it's actually beating prime lenses. So it's like, it's really good, really good. You should have an open mind with this, and again, your pocket will thank you. So this was my presentation with this Sigma's art lens, which is like world's first f1.8 zoom lens, full frame. So hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.